Alrighty, so what we're going to be doing in this video is creating block number 2 on our worksheet. And so what we're going to need to do is we already created our first block, right? So to get out of this and get back to your documents, if you actually click the Onshape button here in the top left, it'll take you back to your documents. And so what we'll need to do is navigate to our lesson 1.2 folder again. And I'm going to click right up here on the top, create document. I'm going to go ahead and put in IED. We're on activity 1, 2, 3. My initials are DR. And then I'm going to go ahead and write in the block that I'm creating. So because I'm creating block 2, which is right here, I'm going to go ahead and write in block 2. So let's say if you're going to create some other block, then you put 8, 12, whatever number it is. We'll go ahead and click OK. And then now it gives us a blank drawing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how to create block 2. So I will tell you, you do have to be a little strategic with how you create your blocks. All right, so we talked about this in activity 1.2.2. I told you all that, there's tons of different ways that you can create these objects. However, some ways are going to be easier than others. Okay, so let's say for block 2, if I decided to select this face right here, I decided to create this face as my first sketch, right? Let's say that we created this piece right here. Then what I would have to do is actually extrude that piece, right, all the way down to here. And then what I would have to do is basically we just have a wall, right? So what we'd have to do is create this hollow part right in here, this opening, okay? So you could do that using a subtractive modeling process. However, if you wanted to do it all in just one run and just have one sketch to create and then just have one sketch to extrude, then what you could do is you could create this face right here, right? And then end up just extruding that by a given distance. All right, so in this video, I'm going to go through both ways how you could have done that. I will go through the easier way first, and then afterwards, if you would like to know how to do that harder way, then you can stick around for that. And I will tell you, it'll be very helpful to watch that process and see how we end up subtracting this piece in here. Because on some of these other examples, like 6, there's this piece right up here that gets subtracted. And then in 7, there's also this piece here that gets subtracted. And then just kind of all throughout this, pieces are subtracted or added in. Okay, so definitely stick around for the second part. Anyways, let's continue. So as I said, the easy way to do this is we're going to create this sketch right here. And so I know that the dimensions for this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 grid lines there. Each grid line is 1/2 of an inch. So basically that's going to be 4 divided by 2, which will be 2. Then let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 units up. So 4 grid lines up, that's going to be 2 inches as well. So basically we're going to be creating a square here with this opening in the middle, okay? And the width of this is just 1, or the depth of that is just 1, okay? So I'm going to go ahead, and because they create this on the right face, I'm going to go ahead and select the right face this time. And then I'll click over here on this cube, right? And then remember, what we've always got to do is create a sketch, and then we've got to extrude that sketch afterwards. Okay, so first step, creating a sketch. I'm going to click sketch right here. And then what we need to do is we need to actually create, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a square using the rectangle tool. I'm going to use the center point rectangle tool. And then I'm going to create that hollow point in the middle afterwards. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and select, since I have the center point rectangle selected, please make sure that you do have the center point rectangle selected. I'm going to go ahead and select the center point first. And so that will be on the origin. And then next, I'm just going to go ahead and place this wherever, right? Because what I'm going to do is I can put in here, so that's 2 inches, right? And then I know right over here that this is 2 inches as well. So I'll select OK. So then now we've created this square, right? But the issue is that we're not trying to actually create just a square, right? We want to create a hollow point in the middle. And so the dimensions of this hollowed out square here is 1, 2, and then 1, 2. So these are actually, it's an inch tall, inch in height, and then an inch in depth. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pop back in here. and I'm going to create another square. And I'm going to place it right around here. Like I said, we can always enter in our dimensions. So that depth is what that is right there. That'll be 1 inch. And then our height is going to be 1 inch. Okay. And so now we have created basically this inner part here. Okay. So if I click the green check mark, our sketch is going to be completed. If we go back to our isometric view, we will see that we have our sketch created. However, we do not have it extruded, right? So that's our next step. And so what you'll do is click extrude. And then now this is where it will be a little tricky, possibly. So now we've got to select our faces and sketch regions to extrude. So if I go down here and I click right here, what's going to happen is it will extrude out just this far piece here, okay? But if I accidentally end up selecting the inside of that as well, it's going to create that just wall here. So make sure that you're only selecting this outside border here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and flip the direction of this because I do want it to go that way. And then we need to check out and see what our depth is going to actually be. So realistically, looking at our isometric sketch, right, this dimension is the width, but they always just refer to the extrusion distance as being the depth, okay? So the length of that is going to be just one grid line, right? So each grid line is 1/2 inch. So that means that we're just going to go 1/2 inch in there. So I'm going to go 0.5, and then you can always type in, inch if you want to, or you can leave it blank because it'll automatically use inches. And I'm going to go ahead and select the green check mark. Okay. All right. And so now, as you can see, we've created block 2. Okay. And so there it is. That's an accurate representation of that object. So then now what you're going to do for the next part is you will create a multi-view drawing of this object. So you can find a tutorial on how to create a multi-view drawing of this object in the resources on our activity page. All right. Let me know if you got any questions. Hope this was helpful. Bye-bye.